King Abadil of Ariza was a ruler feared more than he was loved. He built his empire through ruthless tactics, crushing his enemies, and enforcing strict laws that showed no mercy. His people respected his power but lived in fear of his punishments. Servants trembled in his presence, and even his family walked on eggshells around him. But power alone did not rule the world. The gods watched and judged. They saw his lack of kindness, his cold heart, and his disregard for those who served him. When his beloved son, Prince Adissa, was born, Abadil expected a future great ruler, one who would carry his legacy of strength. But the gods had other plans. On the prince's 21st birthday, madness took hold of him. He began talking to the air, laughing at nothing, attacking imaginary foes. He was no longer the intelligent and capable young man he had once been. Instead, he wandered the palace halls, mumbling nonsense, staring blankly, sometimes erupting into terrifying fits of rage. Physicians, healers, and mystics all tried to cure him, but none could. Finally, the high priest delivered a grim verdict. "This is the price for your merciless rule. The gods have cursed your son. His mind will only be restored if a woman truly loves him in his madness." For the first time in his life, King Abadil felt powerless. Abadil could not bear the shame. A mad prince could not be seen in his court, nor could he rule a kingdom. The people would think the royal bloodline was weak. One night, under the cover of darkness, he ordered his most trusted warriors to take Adissa away. "Leave him in the outskirts of Ajuba. Let him be someone else's problem." The soldiers followed orders, carrying the wild-eyed prince deep into the forests outside the neighboring kingdom of Ajuba. They left him there, bound in ropes, before returning to Ariza. No one was to speak of the mad prince again. Meanwhile, in secrecy, Abadil devised a plan. He would find a noble woman, train her, and prepare her to become Adissa's bride. He would not tell her about the prince's madness, only that she would one day be queen. Lady Esh was the daughter of a minor noble family, one desperate for wealth and status. When the king approached them with an offer to train Esh as a future queen, they readily accepted. Esh, though ambitious, had little power of her own. But this was an opportunity of a lifetime, to be the wife of a prince, the future queen of a great kingdom. 4 months, she was trained in royal etiquette, diplomacy, and the duties of a queen. She learned how to walk, speak, and act like royalty. What they did not tell her was that her husband-to-be was a madman. When she finally insisted on meeting him, they could stall no longer. The truth revealed itself in the worst way. The moment Esh saw Adissa, wild-eyed, muttering to himself, covered in dirt and scars, she screamed. She could not pretend to love a mad prince. Without a second thought, she ran, abandoning everything, leaving the king's plans in ruins. Abadil, for the first time in his life, felt helpless. While the noblewoman fled, another woman had already been watching over the mad prince. Zubaida was a simple village girl, struggling to survive. She lived in a small, crumbling hut at the edge of Ajuba with her mother, who had been bedridden for years. Her mother's illness drained all their savings. Zubaida worked endlessly, washing clothes, cleaning homes, doing whatever she could to afford medicine. One day, while gathering herbs in the forest, she saw him. The mad prince. The villagers spoke of a dangerous man in the wilderness, but when she looked into his eyes, she did not see danger. She saw loneliness. The first time she approached him, he lashed out, screaming in a fit of madness. But she did not run. She returned the next day, and the next. She brought him food, spoke to him, treated him not as a beast but as a man. Some days, he ignored her. Some days, he threw food at her. But she always came back. One day, he sat beside her, quietly eating as she hummed a tune. For the first time, she saw something in his eyes, peace. And without realizing it, she had fallen in love with a mad prince. One day, news came to Zubaida. Her mother was healed. A healer passing through their village had given her a special remedy, and by some miracle she recovered. Overcome with joy, Zubaida rushed to the forest, eager to share the news with Adissa. "My mother is healed. The gods have been merciful," she cried. Adissa, as mad as he was, simply stared at her as if trying to understand. She took his hands, tears in her eyes. "I don't care if you're mad. I love you." And then, She did something no one had ever dared to do. She kissed him. Then, she left. Hours later, Odysseus woke up. His mind was clear. The curse was lifted. Odysseus found himself alone in the forest, his memories foggy. Then, a royal guard appeared. "Your Highness, the curse is broken. You must return to Ariza." The prince was taken back to the palace, where King Abadil fell to his knees in relief. The gods had spared his son. But Odysseus cared about only one thing, finding the woman who had loved him when no one else had. "Where is she?" "The girl from the forest." No one knew her name. Odysseus disguised himself as a commoner, searching village after village. After weeks, he found her, Zobeida, washing clothes by the river. When she turned and saw him, she gasped. You are sane. You saved me." Tears streamed down her face as he stepped closer. "I loved you even when you were lost. But now you are found." Odysseus took her hand. "Come with me, Zobeida. Be my queen." She did not need time to think. And so, the mad prince and the poor girl who had loved him became the greatest love story their kingdoms had ever known. The end.